A couple of weeks ago, I got a VanDusen banjo, a name I'd never heard of and have pretty much been unable to find. The guy that sent it to me wrapped it really good in all this bubble wrap. It took about a year and a half before I finally talked him into getting it shipped to me. And this is how I got it, what it looked like when I got it. One of the things I really liked about it was this amazing marquetry that it had on it. A picture of the exact banjo with the same features that this banjo had on it. The mystery was nobody knew who C.W. VanDusen was. I posted it lots of places and nobody had ever heard of this banjo, but it looks really different. It has the C.F. VanDusen actually put the head on it in 1892. Here's C.W. VanDusen signed to the inside of the all-metal pot. I've never seen a hole like that through a heel of a banjo. It's really neat, and the design is really cool as well. I also noticed that the fingerboard was coming loose, and I was going to have to re-glue that. This is what the banjo looked like without any cleaning. I've taken some of the parts off. I've taken the old guitar tuners off. The fretboard's kind of messed up. Here you can see the tension hooks are all fastened along the bottom part of the tension hoop, which is unusual. We're missing some of the shoes and nuts, so I'll have to come up with some way to solve that problem. Here we have the interior of the banjo. Never seen a heel with a hole all the way through it, surrounded by spade, a little spade design. The fretboard was coming loose, so I was going to have to end up re-gluing that. Here are the guitar tuners that I removed. I'll maybe find some use for those in some other project. And in the process of taking everything apart on these photos, getting it ready to do some cleaning. Here you can see all the years of tarnish that are on it. And here I've cleaned some of it up in this area. Here's a place where you can see clean and dark together. So I've been working on it. And then finally the whole thing's cleaned on the inside and out. A lot of the parts that go together, they needed to be cleaned as well. I used a magnet to determine that this is not a steel pot. Here's the tension hoop with the loop around the bottom part of it. You can see the rivets they used to put it in, turn it into a loop. It cleaned a lot of that up, made it look good. Here's the flush hoop. It's a brass flush hoop. It's the thing that holds the skin, and you can see they've carved the heel out on the neck. Really nice brass fittings they had there, and there's a hole. There's the hole with the I guess those are spades. It looks like a spade design around it. And here it's the neck with the fretboard off. I don't know why they had two holes for the fifth string, but evidently they decided to move it. It wasn't in the normal spot, and they moved it at some point later. Here it is before I've glued it together, and getting ready to glue it together now. And there we go. All the clamps to hold it together once I had it glued. Before I start putting this thing together, I thought I'd take a picture or take some video of the inside of this pot and what the pot looks like. The outside of the pot. And magnet. It is not magnetic. It doesn't stick unless you move over to the edge. The edge is magnetic, that edge is magnetic. So the bead on the pot is magnetic, but the rest of the pot is non-magnetic. Here's a video of the inside of the tension hoop, and you can see how it is riveted together. Looks like it's homemade. It has an interesting, the hooks fasten to the bottom part of the tension hook, which is kind of unique. Very different looking piece. It's a lot different than the way other banjos were made at the time. I don't know if they ever put into production any banjos. Maybe this is just a one-off, but it's really a unique banjo. It does have the name VanDusen is the manufacturer, but haven't really been able to find any information about them. Here are the pieces of hardware, the shoes and the nuts. The shoe is the thing that I'm holding. The nut, of course, is the part that screws on. It holds it onto the rim. All of these parts have been cleaned in a sonic bath, and so they are ready to put back on. They are also non-magnetic. The only thing that is magnetic is the washer. So all the parts are probably brass plated with nickel. Hooks and nuts here, and we are missing about 8 or 9 of these, so I'm gonna have to either find replacements or use fewer of them. Maybe skip every other hole and put a shoe in and then use hooks and nuts for that. This is the flesh hoop. It's the thing that the skin goes around. When you put the new skin on it, it was brazed at one time. I'm probably going to have to use twine, wind it around it to hold it together, but it should work. It's made of brass, so that keeps it from rusting over the years. Well, it has that skin head on it, so that's a good thing. Okay, got the skin soaking. Then I went ahead and mounted it and trimmed it using my X-Acto knife around the edge for a nice clean finish. Getting better at that. Here, I was missing 9 of the hooks and nuts, so I pulled off the shoes and used every other one on them on the banjo, and it looks pretty good actually. I'm pleased with the way it turns out. Got those little holes around it, but the whole banjo is coming along pretty good. Here's the inside of the fancy brass fittings they had on the inside. I've never seen that before in a banjo. Here's VanDusen's name. And I love the way this thing looks, and the marquetry banjo on the fretboard is just amazing. I like the wood grain pattern and the head, the neck.